Now will we see the magic?
All right, where's Murray? Okay, who is it?
This is Jesus, kid.
Know then that it is the year 10,191.
Yes, we are bored. We're all bored now.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Hello, and welcome to Mary vs. the Movies with your host, Mary
And
Jones.
Dennis Ling.
And I don't want to watch a movie.
Okay.
Well, let me explain. We're doing Mr. Mom, and it's not a movie I've really wanted to watch, even though I like Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
He's very funny. Who doesn't love Batman? Beetlejuice, whatever. But here's the thing. He does a movie called Mr. Mom, and as far as I know, this is a movie where it's like, me man, me no understand diapers. Me not good at touching children. Wait a minute. You know what I mean. Holding children. Damn it.
Wow.
Well, my point being, I wasn't rushing to watch this because, I already had my fill of that with Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah.
And I did not like Kramer versus Kramer.
I knew I wouldn't like it. And I didn't.
So the reason we're going to watch this film, however, is what's that guy's name? Nate Barfly? Nate
Brett? Oh, Nate? I don't know.
Barfast? I don't know.
Fast. I don't know.
Yeah.
That guy does the George Washington skit. I don't know his name.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this jackhole up. What is his name? Okay.
Maybe he's really funny in that movie.
Nate Bargatze.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Anyway, he's got a movie out called The Breadwinner that looks terrible.
Yeah.
And I read Matt Zollerseis's takedown of it with delight because I just it's like, oh, here's a guy who works, I guess, is like a Toyota salesman or something, and he stays home to let his wife go have a career or something like that.
His wife to go have a career with the shark.
That's right.
Shark Tank guys.
God, that's reason enough for me
I know.
to just want to die.
It was just so many buttons. Like, oh God, this is all awful.
And like this is coming on top of like Kevin O'Leary being in Marty Supreme, and it's just like, why are we Shark Tanking our films? I don't want this.
No.
But I have no desire to see The Breadwinner. It sounds like it's already like doing something that was outdated like 20 years ago. More than that, even.
So
right?
the real reason why we're watching this is that
it's 90 minutes.
Well, it's 90 minutes. It's really all it is. Is because we were going to watch Ishtar, which is like, I don't know, 7 hours. I don't know.
I don't think it's quite that long. But
it's
yeah,
like movie orgy stuff.
God, I wish. No. I say I wish. I haven't seen Ishtar. I don't know if I want a 7-hour movie, but no. So yeah, we're watching one because this terrible movie came out that basically has the same premise, right? And so it's like, well, I guess we had to watch Mr. Mom, and 2, it's like only an hour and a half long, and I'm kind of happy to watch something short, especially after we just recently saw The Silver Chalice, which is like 2.5 hours long and feels it.
It feels like 3.5 hours.
Yeah. I'm not thrilled with the premise of this film. And look, I think the whole, being a dad is really hard, and like, obviously this is not where I should be in the office. I should be like, out earning a living, and the woman is supposed to be like, that's so. I mean, my God, we're on the like 4th wave feminism by now, and you're still making movies like this.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? So by the time they were making Mr. Mom in the 80s, I think this was already kind of a retrograde idea, right? Because women have been going into the work. Well, first of all, women have always worked. That's number one. Women have always worked. So this is a load of crap. But as far as middle-class white women going into work when they have children, this is at least something that's been going on since the 1960s, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, since 1980 with 9 to 5. Before then, I don't think women worked.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's so. It's so like, I mean, my mother worked since the moment I was born. She always worked. That this whole idea is so weird to me. In fact, it was more likely that my dad might be out of a job and like home than my mother would be. And then there were times where like he got home earlier than she did, so like my dad spent time with us. Like the whole premise just seems so weird to me. This isn't even like a class thing. When I was a kid, I came from a working class neighborhood, a lot of longshoremen or guys who worked in factories, etc. And yet, I don't ever remember like the dads not being around. Yes, there were definitely houses where the woman was at home and the dad worked. But I didn't know a lot of them. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a weird premise for me to begin with, and I'm now closing in on 50. So to have a movie out now with this premise is bizarre. But even in the 1980s, I think it was kind of an outmoded way of thinking.
Yeah.
Now you, on the other hand, you had a stay-at-home mom for at least when you were very young.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she she would always pick up like odd jobs and stuff.
Because women have always done that.
But like in the 80s, like I think times got a little tougher.
Sure.
And so she started having to work, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm already angry at the premise. So that's a great way to go into a comedy. I don't know who directs this, but I know it stars Michael Keaton. Whatever the retrograde set pieces are in this, I'm sure there's a lot of diapers involved. He'll at least make it funny, maybe?
I just remember this part of the 80s felt like it was Michael Keaton versus Tom Hanks, and who could be, the next Jimmy Stewart or something.
Hanks won.
Yeah.
I mean, Hanks is the better actor.
Michael Keaton did become Batman.
That's actually where I was going with this. Okay. He started working with Tim Burton.
Oh.
And the moment he put on the Beetlejuice makeup, it's not even Batman, it's Beetlejuice. I think Beetlejuice, everybody went, oh, this dude does weird, huh?
Yeah.
And then he does Batman, and his Batman is weird.
Yeah.
Like, and not even his Batman is weird. His Bruce Wayne is a weird dude. Yeah. And I think people went, oh, okay, we're going to give the normal roles to Tom Hanks. And that's fine. Like, I'm glad he went in that direction. And then, like, he kind of disappeared for a while. I don't know what happened there, But, he's since come back. And, I mean, he's great in movies like The Founder,
Yeah.
But he had a huge comedy film career, I mean, like, not stand-up or anything. But, like, he was, I know he was big in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And we'll probably, like, was it Gung Ho as a movie or something?
Yep.
That's something we'll cover at some point. There's, what's another one? There's, like, I don't know.
Multiplicity?
We are not. First of all, that's 90s, and second of all, we are not covering Multiplicity. that is where it, like, when you get into the 90s years with Keaton, they are not good. Did you ever see Jack Frost?
No,
it's a bad movie. Bad movie.
That's pretty late though.
Yeah, I don't care. It's real bad though. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, there was other ones he did. Like, isn't there one about like Men at Work? Not Men at Work, but like him working, and I think like Henry Winkler is involved or something. It's supposed to be good. I don't know. Anyway, point is, Michael Keaton. He might at least make it somewhat entertaining, even though I'll be annoyed the whole time.
So, do you think there's a dog in this movie?
Sure, why not? Family
dog. Like hurting the kids. But like, do you think there's a dog eating a meal instead of the kids?
Sure. Yeah, if there's a dog, I bet that happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a death?
No.
Okay.
No, I have a feeling this will be a bit more lighthearted than that.
Do you think there's a cool car?
No.
Do you think there's a love triangle or a implied love triangle or a suspected love triangle?
Oh, because she's out working and yeah. I bet something like that happens. Because God forbid women leave the house. The moment they leave, they're going to go and sleep with their coworkers.
Do you think the love triangle is in one person's mind, two people's mind, or three people's mind?
One person's mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just
that's
a common trope.
a very good. That's a very good question. That's a good one. But no, I think it's just in his mind.
So I did see this. I don't remember
you have
it.
seen it. Okay.
Like I saw it in the theater, I think, and then I just don't remember it. But is there an angry dad?
Yes, Mr. Mom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess he would be the angry dad.
I think he is the angry dad.
Okay.
Not like evil angry, not like, but I'm sure like certainly a frustrated dad.
Yeah. Do you think Reagan appears on a TV at any point?
So I know this came out in like 83. That's entirely possible that's in the background, but
really?
Reaganism.
83?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Reaganism
so
is
early.
I guess it does. I guess it is kind of early.
Like I picture the 80s, like dinosaur eras, Jurassic, Cretaceous, whatever. And
yeah.
So like 81 or like 82 to 83 for me is vastly different than 84 to 85.
Yeah, because you were like 12.
Yeah.
That's how you experience things when you're 12.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't remember this movie being around then, but maybe I saw it on cable and not in a theater, I just said.
Would you have wanted to go out and see Mr. Mom when you were, 12?
I don't know.
I mean, I doubt it.
Yeah. Think it has a happy ending?
I mean, if you're a conservative, probably. Okay, because here's the thing. I'm going to predict.
Yeah.
Like, the end of this movie is the roles reverse back again.
Yeah.
And he goes back into working and she stays home with the kids. Because God forbid they, put the kids in daycare or something.
Okay.
And both have careers.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you brought up Ronald Reagan. This is Reagan's America.
Yeah.
She's going to go back to working, to being a housewife, and he's going to, the roles will be rigidified, whatever, reestablished.
Yeah, for the breadwinner, he brought up You've Got Mail, which is one of our most hated films.
I hate that movie so much.
Yeah.
God. Yes. And Dennis was
that
referring to
ending
the
is-
Matt Zoller-Seitz article, yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate that movie.
And that ending is horrifying.
It is horrifying.
It's like,
But
things changed and you have to accept it. AI is what we all have to use now.
Well, yeah, but I think that's actually an interest. I'm curious about the parallel of, something like You've Got Mail, where in the end, it's like, I love Big Brother because he shut down my beloved bookstore that was in my family, but it's okay because now I just work for him and his giant corporation. That is like a perfect, it's the end of the 90s into the early 2000s, and this is the way life is supposed to be.
Hey, it's better than a cage with a rat in it on your face.
I don't know, man. I think I can make friends with the rat.
That's true.
I'd rather hang out with the rat than Jeff Bezos.
Just call me a rat cage face. I'm good. You don't have to take them off. 2 + 2 = 4. This is just how I have to live now.
Yeah, I mean, sure, is it a leap to go from Mr. Mom to totalitarian nightmare? Maybe. Or maybe not. Again, this is Reaganism at work.
Yeah.
So, are we ready to go watch this movie?
Yeah, sure.
Eh.
Great God, you can go. I stand outside this woman's work, this woman's word. Was hard on the man. Now his part is over. Now starts the cry of the father.
There is a scene in this in which Michael Keaton is climbing up a ladder on the side of his house, presumably to go. I guess he's like washing the windows or something, but he's getting close to the roof.
Yep.
Anyway, I fell off the roof today. I'm in a lot of pain.
I'm sorry.
So that hit a little strangely close to home. Well, this is a movie all about gender norms.
Yeah.
And I suppose people don't usually think of the wife climbing on the roof of a house to go and play with a weather station. But, we are not a family of, gender respecters.
No.
So, it wasn't that weird that I'm like, hey, honey, go get me a ladder. I'm going to climb on the roof. And you were like, okay. And then the ladder collapsed under me. And, yeah. I'm in pain.
I'm sorry I killed you.
You did. It's now Mary versus the ghosts, or Ghost versus the movies, or Mary versus Dennis. So, I should have known this was written by John Hughes.
I know.
My perennial adversary, my Wario. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the problem with John Hughes is that he is a deeply conservative filmmaker.
Yeah.
He's also very funny. and talented. And that's
the problem with the 80s.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot of very conservative movies that are really funny.
Exactly. And there is a lot in this that is very funny. And a lot of that's just down to Michael Keaton being a very funny performer. And not just him. I mean, look at the people who are in this. You know, you've got Martin Mull as the wife, Teri Garr's boss.
Yeah.
Right? You've got, Jeffrey Tambor coming in and being, just a sleazy schmuck.
Teri Garr might have the best reaction shots of almost anyone.
For any film she's in.
Yeah.
Teri Garr, I mean, can you think, there are very few movies she's in where she's not getting kind of screwed over by whoever she is partnered with, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I'm just thinking, Close Encounters.
Yeah.
This.
Her movie characters have a very bad track record.
They do. I mean, she doesn't have a good time in Tootsie either.
No.
Oh, right? Ugh. Probably the best relationships she's in movies is like Young Frankenstein and Ghost World, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not great. I guess she comes out on top in Young Frankenstein, but I mean, I was worried with this movie, and I wasn't wrong. But I will say the thing I was really worried would be that this movie it reifies this idea that men don't know how to stay home and take care of kids and basically do all the stuff around the house, and that women are really more geared towards that, and they're much better at it, and they find it much more fulfilling. And there's no reason for them to really be in the workplace. That if you're a woman who wants to be working, you are a cold, horrible person. Like the woman at the beginning when Teri Garr first comes into the office, and that woman is like a dragon lady. Do you know what I'm talking about? Here we don't do this.
That lady.
That lady. Right.
Yeah.
And I was very afraid that the movie would play into that more than it does.
I wonder if there was more of that woman, because she seemed like she should have had a bigger role or something, and I'm kind of glad that she didn't.
So am I. And also, frankly, I'm glad this movie is just a quick 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It is not a movie that overstays. Look, let me just first of all say, or third of all say at this point, the movie's mid, right?
Yeah.
It's not one of the great comedies of all time. It's not one of the great comedies of the 80s. It has some very funny performances and some very funny jokes. It's reactionary. It's not the worst that it could be. It's perfectly pleasant for what it is. So I'm not here to actually trash the movie necessarily, but that doesn't mean it isn't problematic in certain ways, or not even problematic, just hackneyed.
So it was written by
John Hughes.
John Hughes. Because he wouldn't come to LA to make it, they hired TV writers, and it feels TV writers.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, this feels like this.
There's no real arc. Things just kind of happen from skit to skit.
It is very skit-like, and he really doesn't have a character arc other than, well, I kind of let myself go for a while. I guess I got to whip myself back into shape. And we get a little training montage of him doing that, but it's not...
With the Rocky theme.
The
appropriate training montage music.
Well, no, look, I'll say this. Again, it's a well-constructed screenplay in terms of things like the beginning of the movie. This is set in Detroit during the 1980s recession, the early recession, right?
Yeah.
Which was a very bad recession.
Mm-hmm.
It started actually under Carter, and I guess it's downstream of the second oil embargo.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. In the 1979, there was an oil embargo. There was the Iranian Revolution. Carter was president. We had incredibly bad inflation. The bad recession, the car industry was going, a lot of stuff was falling apart. This movie is coming out of that.
Yeah.
A lot of the problems that we're in right now are very similar, actually, because you had stagflation, where inflation was going up, but the economy was stagnant. In fact, it went into recession, et cetera. And, it's how do you fix that? Well, you have to jack up the interest rates really high so that, if you're our age, you go and talk to, say, if not your age, but maybe my age and people a little bit younger, you talk to your parents, you find out they were paying mortgages at 15-16%, right? Which is a crazy amount now. They have 15-16% inflation, or interest rates, I should say, right? Okay, not that anybody. No, look, this is not an economics podcast, but so that's what's going on, and this is also at the same time that women are in the workforce. pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say when you see The Office, there are women there, right? So it's not like it's that strange. And also, you know, they say that she'd had a job before. You know, that Teri Garr's character, what's her name? Carolyn, whatever. Yeah. You know, she has a college degree. She had a job. It's just that they had kids, and she decided to stay home because obviously he was making enough as an engineer at one of the car companies in Detroit. Anyway, he's getting laid off. Turns out like a whole bunch of his team is getting laid off, which, by the way, also hits kind of close to home because we just went through a whole round of this.
Yeah.
And there is a thing that happens later in the film where his boss, who laid him off, Jeffrey Tambor, has to come back to him and say, yeah, actually, you know, our productivity has gone way down and we're in a lot of trouble and we kind of need you back. And right now we're kind of going through some stuff at work with productivity and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, so like, I don't know, that also hit a little close to home. But so he gets laid off and she's just like, well, you know, I can go back to work. And the film doesn't say no, you can't do that or anything like that. I will say at least it doesn't do. It's not as blatantly reactionary as I was worried it was going to be.
Like Kramer versus Kramer.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't that at all.
Yeah.
Thank God. I don't think I could have sat through another Kramer versus Kramer.
I think partly because they do have a chemistry.
Yes.
You know, it's not like Dustin Hoffman and
Meryl
Streep.
No.
Where it's like
they obviously hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, not just the characters, the actors obviously hate each other. Here, no, actually, they have very good, like, Keaton and Garr have very good chemistry, actually. Yeah.
It kind of saves the movie, is them, you know, because they're both great.
I think so. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, when we see her in the office, she's extremely competent. She's very good at her job. She goes back into advertising, and she's a Peggy.
Exactly,
she's Peggy Olsen.
In Mad Men, basically.
Yes, that's exactly how
even down to all the cigarette smoke.
Oh my God. That was so wild watching this and just being like, oh yeah, people did smoke a lot in the 80s, didn't they? Like, people were smoking constantly in this movie to a degree that, like, I actually was kind of like, that's weird how much smoking they're doing. And then I thought, well, no, I guess it was like that when we were young, wasn't it? Yeah. But no, I mean, she's totally shown as competent, and she certainly likes having a job. She doesn't like her boss because he is a creep who is sexually harassing her and, you know, tries to have sex with her.
Dabney Coleman was considered, and it is the most Dabney Coleman role.
I mean, yeah. You know, it's sort of like at that point, Dabney Coleman, you might not just have a type, you might want to look at yourself in the mirror. So instead they get Martin Mull, and Martin Mull is very funny, of course. And
actually, I saw John Goodman was considered for Jack.
I saw that. I can't believe that's true because John Goodman didn't really have much of a career yet.
Yeah, well,
why would you put a whole film on him?
Neither did Michael
Keaton.
He had one Night Shift.
He had Night Shift before this, which I think we're going to do because I've never seen it. John Goodman would have been good also. Look, I love John Goodman.
Yeah, I just feel like it would change his career if he had a movie like this, you know?
Well, see, maybe he wouldn't have gone and done Roseanne.
Yeah.
You know, he would have been too big for that. He wouldn't have been in the David Byrne movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, True Stories. Yes.
Yeah.
We did it for the show.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that John Goodman didn't do this movie.
Yeah.
No, he would have been really good.
Yeah.
It would have been a different vibe, but he wouldn't very good. But, you know, I love his career, so I don't want that. Don't take him away from the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, he gets laid off and she goes back to work, and you know, a lot of it is just skits of him dealing with now that I'm home with the kids. And look, some of the stuff is very funny. Yeah. And you could tell you could have made this Clark Griswold and it would have been a little bit broader, but it would have had some of the same beats. In terms of like how the humor is written. It didn't surprise me to find out that John Hughes was sort of like the hand behind this.
But the skit nature felt very TV. Like everything that happens always happens in threes. You know, when there's problems with the washer, there's also a TV repairman or repairwoman.
Yes, and an exterminator.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like 3 different repairmen or service people coming to the house at once. There's always at least 3 other housewives / moms around.
Yeah.
It's well written hack. Does that make sense? You know, he fed the baby chili.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, As the film says, you fed the baby chili.
Yeah.
You don't do that. That's funny, And look, thankfully, this is not a gross movie either. Like all of the stuff that it's just implied gross stuff with kids and diapers and whatnot. And frankly, I appreciate that. I don't need to get too graphic with that stuff. And I feel like a little bit later or a slightly different movie would have done that. And frankly, this is where I'm conservative. I don't want to see poop. I'm not expecting you to argue with me. You had a pause there. And look, I'm hoping we're on the same side.
Well, what about pink flamingos?
That's different.
That's different.
Okay.
All right.
Pink flamingos builds up to that moment.
Yeah.
Frankly, as somebody who generally doesn't want to see that type of stuff, on the other hand, pink flamingos, I'm fine with it in that movie. That's a different thing.
All right.
The reason jumping back, the Rocky thing. So when they're going to lay people off, he's one of these, higher up guys, because he's an engineer, who likes to go down onto the floor where they're actually putting the car together and talk to the guys, because that's like being around real men, and it's that type of thing, right?
Well, we've seen it with Michael Scott in The Office.
Well, there's that. There's also just there's a certain type of white-collar worker or knowledge worker who is insecure in their own masculinity, and so they want to go down and hang out with the blue-collar guys so that he feels like a real man and he's one of them. And in reality, he's not one of them. And, first of all, that's fine. You don't have to be one of them. Why are you so concerned about your own sense of masculinity? But that's what's going on here.
And then they go to Home Depot to buy a board.
But that's exactly who, yes. But so, he goes down there and they're all worried about layoffs, and he starts talking about the wife and I went to go see Rocky, and they're immediately quizzing him oh yeah, which one? Yeah.
Was the trainer alive?
Yeah.
Oh, the questions were great.
It was actually really funny.
I almost wish it was a longer scene so that we could get more into Rocky lore.
And I love that they do that. Was he fighting a guy with a mohawk or not? And it just basically as if to say, look, man, we know that you're full of it.
Yeah.
And that you're trying to give us all this, platitudes, and you're trying to really connect with us because you're talking about Rocky, and you didn't see this movie. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And it's a great scene, actually.
Get out of here, Tim Allen.
A lot of it is gender, though. Not as badly as I was worried about. But, there is that sense of, he's losing sense of his own masculinity, which makes it interesting that then the longer he stays home work with the kids, he grows a beard. He, just starts wearing a flannel shirt around the house and his glasses and stuff. And I got to say, first of all, that's hot.
Well, I'm glad you think so.
I'm just saying.
It just started looking like a mirror, like a 30 years in the past mirror, but a mirror for me.
I just thought I would tell you that, honey.
Thanks, babe.
So much so that when he decides to kind of reform himself and get himself back together and clean himself up, he shaves the beard and he burns the shirt, and I'm just like, no.
I know.
Oh God.
It's like Ali Sheedy all over again in Breakfast Club.
That's exactly what it is.
John Hughes.
Screw you, John Hughes. That's the person who's really deeply unsure of his own masculinity because he has to reinforce these ideas.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
what do you think of the whoopee, by the way?
That kid's too young to have his blanket taken away from him.
Yeah,
that kid's in preschool.
There's a kid and he's got the Linus blanket. He calls it whoopee.
Who didn't have a whoopee when they were little? I still have mine. I mean, I don't keep it with me. It's sitting in a nice little hope chest. But why would you try to take away your child's whoopee?
Yeah.
But that's a part of we're going to make a man of you.
I know.
No.
It's going to make America great again.
You can't. Yeah, exactly.
His whoopee.
You can't even make him 4 yet, and you're taking away his whoopee?
I know.
Ugh. No, that's the type of stuff that I get angry at.
It could have made it into a sport coat.
Exactly. He has all these other housewives that he is hanging out with, and who are obviously a bit more better put together than him in terms of they're used to the rhythms of taking care of kids and housework and all the rest of it. And you've got Aunt Jillian as a neighbor who is on the prowl for him. She's divorced. Yeah. Presumably she has kids, but
you know what? I kept thinking about her car because I keep featuring her car.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like crap now.
Well,
But
yeah.
I'm wondering if at the time you're like, look at the car she has, you know?
I think people would have been like, now that's a cool car.
I know.
And I'm looking at this, I'm like, that is not a cool car. But there's our cool car question, you know?
Yeah.
Like, was there a cool car in here? I'm like, I don't know. If it was 1983, maybe you thought it was, but no.
Because it's so if people don't know, in like during the early 80s and mid 80s, like everyone all of a sudden got small cars. Like my parents, they had a Mazda, this little Mazda hatchback, and like a Honda Civic hatchback. That thing like rusted to like all rust basically. But they were like, everyone had these tiny cars because like, you know, everyone remembered these crazy lines in the 70s.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, the gas mileage on cars from the 70s was what, 10 miles to a gallon?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I can't imagine why you would want to replace that with, I don't know, a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like cars back then had like 35, 45 miles a gallon.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Because they were like so light.
They were light. It was just after the gas crisis. The whole idea was to save. And, you know, what happens then? The Republicans all kind of look at this and say, this isn't manly. In the long run, you end up with SUVs and the Hummer and all the rest of it. And, you know, I'm sorry. It all goes back to Jimmy Carter going on television and saying, you know, turn down the gas and wear a sweater. And everybody going, no, you can't make me. You're not my mom.
Yeah.
And then you end up with Ronald Reagan, Make America Great Again. Look, everything is just a cycle, and it just keeps happening over and over again. And it's so frustrating, you know, when you watch an old movie like this, and it just, we watched this in part because that stupid comedian had his own version of Mr. Mom. And, you know, frankly, it's tanking. Nobody's going to see it because it's probably not that as funny as this. Even laying aside, you know, the gender politics of it, it is a funny movie.
Yeah.
It's well made. That movie's not well made, but all of the conversations are the same as what's happening now, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're talking about the economics behind this movie or the gender politics of this movie, you know, the fact that people still argue about women in the workplace is insane to me because I grew up with nothing but women who worked.
Mm-hmm.
And like this movie is not making an argument against women working. I will say that. At least this movie is not doing that at all.
Yeah.
Except there was one scene that gave me pause, maybe a little worried, where, you know, again, he's not doing very well with the whole staying at home thing, and she says to him, "Oh, you're bored, you're frustrated, you don't like this. You know what? Guess what? I took pride in what I was doing as a mom because it's important to raise good people." And part of me kind of cringed a little bit because I get a little worried when people are like, "I'm proud to be a mom." Not that you shouldn't be. You should love your children and want to raise your kids and be proud of the job that you're doing and love the relationship you have with them. But, you know, I'm always a little worried because there's that whole women should be proud to be mothers thing. That it's like the whole trad wife thing. And I was really worried that the movie was going to go into that direction. It doesn't really, though, does it?
No.
Because when he cleans himself up,
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he cleans himself up in order to just get a new job. He cleans himself up because he then starts volunteering with the school.
Yeah.
And he's like more in tune with what his kids are doing. And he's actually like showering every day. You know, it's less I'm trying to, you know, regain my manhood and more I need to just be a person who's present in my own life instead of watching soap operas all day and getting lost in that and getting lost in fantasies about having sex with the neighbor, you know? Because that is sort of the middle of the film is him kind of daydreaming a lot and not, you know, like there's clothes everywhere all over the house and nothing is being taken care of and the kids are dirty all the time. And, you know, I think that at least, you know, when she kind of says to him, hey, you know, take some pride in yourself. I don't think it's inherently necessarily gendered, even though I was worried it was going to go in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that fantasy was one of the best
Oh,
scenes.
I loved it. Yes. So, you know, they've got this neighbor, Joan, played by...
and Jillian.
And Jillian. And she's obviously coming on to him through the whole film. Yeah. The film is not... This is not a subtle film. And meanwhile, you know, because he's home all day, he gets really into watching The Young and the Restless. And I get it.
Yeah.
I miss the days of soap operas every day, you know, like, and that was one of them. I don't think is it still on?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm working all day, I don't necessarily get to check out. Like, also, like, my mom was very anti soap operas, but like my uncle would leave them on. When my uncle had days off, he would just leave on things like Young and the Restless.
Yeah. Oh, Victor, you know, I could see why. Like Victor, that deep voice of his
Yeah.
and the mustache. I mean,
Come on,
Yeah.
man. How would you not want to watch that?
I know.
Right? So, because he gets really sucked into watching these the soap opera.
Yeah, Victor is the gateway drug for soap operas, and then before you know it, you're all in.
Did you watch soap operas?
Oh, Guiding Light
Okay.
was that was my mom's, so that was mine.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, Young and Restless, I think was earlier in the day.
It came out at 12:30.
So I didn't always get to see it, but
Mhm.
like on summers, like I would, on a rainy day, I would end up watching it. And
Because that came out at 12:30. That was definitely like after lunch, and if I was either at the babysitter's or I was like a day
what was
off
the
of school.
Spaldings? Was that or was that Guiding Light?
No, I don't remember now. Which was the one set on the main line?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, one of them was set on the main line. I want to say it was All My Children, but I'm not sure. And I'm sure there is somebody who is listening to us who is yelling at me right now and saying the correct answer. And you know what? Write in
Yeah.
or yell at me on our Discord. But so, yeah, he starts having this fantasy. You don't start off knowing it's his fantasy right away, but
Yeah.
it transitions because they start having the music swell
Yeah.
and it starts building into the Young and the Restless music. So,
But also, Young and Restless is on in the background.
yeah.
So it's like the music from that swells, but it's very subtle. It's kind of cool how they did it.
It's like you realize it's a fantasy once she's in the house and she takes the coat off and she has lingerie on.
Yeah.
And then suddenly realize, oh, now this isn't a movie that would actually go there. And then, of course, when Teri Garr comes home early from work and finds the two of them together kissing, like they really bring out the music and she pulls out the gun and shoots him and stuff. It's a great
She
scene.
pulls out the gun, and then so the kids don't hear, she puts on a silencer.
Well, come on. You don't want to traumatize them by having
Yeah.
them hear the murder. God, you really aren't good at parenting.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, she's got this great job, but her boss is played by Martin Mull and he's pursuing her. And so when they go off to California to shoot a commercial for this very hard to please client, and part of it is just sales are down. It's a recession. She makes the winning pitch, much like a Peggy Olson. And so she has to go off to California and he's left behind with the kids at Halloween. And, it's that whole, oh no, you're going to like miss all of like the important things in their childhood. And I have no idea what it's like actually to be a parent and whether like that matters as much as TV wants you to think it does. Maybe it does. I don't know. Like this is definitely something where I have never had this experience. We don't have kids. I don't have the same sort of sentimentality that other people will have or understanding, I should say. To say sentimentality implies a judgment that I don't mean. So while she's off in California shooting the commercial, Martin Mull decides to come on to her in the hotel room. And Michael Keaton calls because the kids want to talk to her, and the neighbor who was watching after the kids while he was out with the other girls, which I didn't even talk about that. They call her hotel room, and of course Martin Mull answers because he is trying to trick the Teri Garr into sleeping with him. So of course, we brought up, is there a love triangle? There's like 2 love triangles in this.
It's a rhombus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a love rhombus.
And so, of course, he's very upset about that. And then, he's trying to decide, well, geez, should I just have this affair with Joan, the Jillian character? But so anyway, they had taken him out that night because he had tried to go back. He had basically kind of gotten a lead, like, maybe you can get your old job back type of thing. And so he goes into the office and, Jeffrey Tambor is just like, things went wrong, with you before, but we kind of need you back.
Real Bluth energy there.
Oh, yeah, it really is. Just for as an aside, apparently like Ron Howard was supposed to direct this.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking like Ron Howard, Jeffrey Tambor, Martin Mull, you got real Arrested Development vibes going on.
Yeah, Ron Howard was supposed to direct this, but he instead did Splash, and Michael Keaton was supposed to do Splash and instead did this. So, yeah.
I haven't seen Splash in many years, decades at this point. I remember really liking it.
Yeah, I remember the mermaid was looking for the Holy Grail.
No.
And
no. I can't justify doing it for either show.
she's the lady in the lake.
She is not the lady in the lake. Oh, I wish. I wish I could do Splash for the show because I haven't seen it since I was pretty young. But no, I can't. Because I know what happens. They swim away together at the end.
Maybe they don't. Maybe there's a special edition.
No, he drowns. He dies. The whole explanation for like, we need to have you back because productivity has gone down, but you have to kind of grovel and say that, you know, you had made a bunch of mistakes while you were here. Like the whole scene doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
So that kind of annoyed me. But because he went out for this job, the other housewives take him out for a dinner that night to serve a celebratory thing, even though he didn't actually get the job. And then they take him to, I guess, Chippendales?
Yeah.
Or like male strippers. Just as an aside, I have never understood the whole appeal of male strippers. I don't get it.
They're gyrating.
I don't know. It's not sexy. I don't see the appeal.
They should have flannel shirt wearing Chippendales.
Well, maybe then I would be into it. I don't know. But like the whole male stripper thing, like always just seems so weird to me. Like I've never understood how that was sexy. I don't know, man. Teri Garr decides to fly back home because she's off-screen quit her job.
Yeah.
I mean, she punches him out. She punches out Martin Mull, but she quits her job. She's like, I can't deal.
That was pretty satisfying too.
Oh yeah,
she flips over a chair and everything.
Not quite 9 to 5 level, but getting there. She quits her job and flies home, but she catches Joan in the house trying to come on to
laying on her bed.
Laying on their bed. Yeah, he kind of goes crazy a bit and decides to do not just redo the house, but because he thinks they're having an affair, he goes and like buys like a whole new bed furniture and everything, and like puts palm trees in the bedroom. It gets kind of weird actually, and I feel like there's like a dropped scene or something explaining why he suddenly remakes the house the way he does, because it's a little weird.
I feel like the TV writers love the whole transition from this to this. There's a whole bunch of like thunder and rain, like everything's gonna be great, and then it's in the middle of a storm. And
yeah, it just felt kind of choppy, like why certain decisions are made. But anyway, she catches Joan in the act, and so essentially there's like this fallout of
while he's in the bathroom giving at least 26 reasons like why and why not to get with Joan, because Joan's like obviously in the bedroom. And then TV repair lady comes, his boss comes,
right,
and Martin Mull comes.
Yeah, then all of a sudden,
all at once,
all these different characters show up at the house.
Yeah,
while they're having their fight about who's having an affair, and it turns out neither of them, but whatever. And so the TV
the rhombus disappears back into the line.
Well, so Jillian, Joan gets thrown out of the house. Martin Mull shows up begging for Teri Garr to come back to the office, and she's just like, no, I am done. I don't want this job. But what I like is she says, I'll get a different job.
Yeah.
It's not like I want to stay home with my kids. She misses her kids. And like, I do think there is something to be said for, the way that when you have a job and you're forced to be away from your family all the time and just work compulsively, like that sucks. And I do think anybody should push back against that. But so at least the film doesn't say like, I don't want to have a job. Like she is going to get a new job. But yeah, and then Jeffrey Tambor shows up and is just like, you have to come back to the office and we're going to like give you a company car and all the rest of it. It's very Hollywood sort of, your dreams come true type thing. And
we'll rehire Christopher Lloyd, who didn't do anything in this movie.
Christopher Lloyd is given like high billing. In the credits. He shows up in the credits. He's in one scene. He's one of the other guys who gets fired. I mean, he does knock out Jeffrey Tambor, but, it's like he's only in one scene. And again, it's one of those things where I'm like, were things cut?
And if I saw a poster and it said Christopher Lloyd was in it, like, at least Christopher Lloyd's in it.
And it's like, he's really not.
He's not.
So
it's just him. He's got dark hair, and which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Considering it's like 2 years away from Doc Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this isn't that long after Taxi, I guess, or maybe even like I'm trying to think what year Taxi ended. But his hair is darker here than on Taxi. Yeah. That's kind of the end of the film. Is they're both going to get new jobs. He's going to get his old job back. She's going to find a new one, and the family is reunited because it is a conservative film. which is fine. Actually, in this case, it's the ending you want. You want them to be reconciled. It's not like she has to become a housewife again.
It felt very 30s.
Yeah, now talk about that, because I agree.
Just the whole, like, everybody converging at once and all the plot lines suddenly being tied up.
All the plot lines being tied back up into one moment, and the husband and wife characters are reconciled.
Yeah.
The family unit is remade whole again. I mean, you see this in a lot of movies from the 30s. You're right, like The Awful Truth or My Favorite Wife, The Philadelphia Story. You see this over and over again. And this isn't a bad version of that, because at least it isn't like she has to become a housewife again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. It's not bad.
Nah.
I mean, it's mid.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of funny stuff in it. But
like, it wouldn't be worth anything if it wasn't for the cast.
That's the thing. This is definitely something where it comes down to, one, they do write some funny gags. There are some very funny lines in it with, and like, okay, John Hughes and whoever he was farming the work out to, they did all right with that. But it really is down to the performances.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Keaton is great in this. Teri Garr is great in this. Martin Mull's great in this.
Yeah.
And Jillian's great in this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any bad performances in this. Even the kids are good in it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kids. They're little kids. But
no, that's a huge thing, because a kid can sink a movie.
But these actually feel like kids.
Yeah, these kids are actually are kind of fun.
Yeah. So
kids usually do sink movies for me, but no, these kids were fine. I like them.
They're fine. They felt like real children.
Yeah, they have like a Bad News Bears energy. They're just like mindless, destructive agents of chaos. And that's all they care about. Like, there's no lessons learned or anything. It's just that they're like, oh, I'm just going to do something terrible again.
So that was Mr. Mom, starring Michael Keaton, Teri Garr, Martin Mull, and Jillian, Jeffrey Tambor, Graham Jarvis. Oh, the kids were Frederick Keller, Taliesin Jaffe, Courtney White, and Brittany White played the little baby. And then you had like just little bit players who you've seen in other places, like Edie McClurg shows up as the angry checkout lady.
Oh yeah,
it's always fun seeing her and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. This was written, of course, by John Hughes and directed by Stan Dragoti, who, what else has he done? She's Out of Control. That's not a good movie. The Man it's not. The Man with One Red Shoe, which I think we'll see at some point. And, I don't know, Necessary Roughness. Probably not a good movie. That's fine. Oh, Love at First Bite. Yeah, we'll be doing that at some point. Huh. All right, of course, you can follow us on social media. We're Mary vs. Movies at all of your major platforms. We're on TikTok and Instagram, Reels. Actually, I do still have a Twitter account for the show. Let's see what else. Blue Sky, Mastodon, Facebook, Tumblr, etc. Let's see. You, of course, can listen to us on all the major platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We can rate and review the show. We are on Spotify. We are on YouTube. We are pretty much anywhere you can put an RSS feed and put into whatever your podcatcher of choice is. We have a Patreon to help support the show because, we're not on a network. We don't have ads. This is just, the two of us doing this show with, we have other people helping us. We have a web mistress and we have, server costs and all the rest of this. So this show takes, it costs money. So if you want to help support the show, for $3 a month, you can join patreon.com/MaryVSMovies, and then you will also be able to listen to our other show, Hollywood Avalon, where we watch Arthurian movies, as Dennis alluded to. And we watch anything from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade to Bugs Bunny cartoons to The Silver Chalice to Apocalypse Now. We watched 28 Years Later. And I made a case for that. I made a case for Star Wars. Yeah. But we also watched things like Knights of the Round Table, Excalibur, The Kid Who Would Be King, good movies, bad movies, and everything in between.
So we have Gargoyles coming up?
We have Gargoyles coming up, yes. We're going to start exploring more of the show Gargoyles because that had a whole Arthurian arc in season 2.
Is Brent Spiner in that?
I don't know if he's one of the voices, but there's other Star Trek people.
I know Jonathan Frakes.
Frakes.
And we just saw Jonathan Frakes.
We did. We were at the Philly Fan Expo, and we could see Jonathan Frakes from afar looking strikingly like if Dennis had an older brother. It was really eerie.
Yeah. He looked really nice though. He was hugging people and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't like meeting people.
Yeah.
So
I don't like spending hundreds of dollars to meet people.
I don't know that he cost hundreds of dollars, but I'm just not I don't like to meet people. It makes me nervous.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yes, so yeah, patreon.com/MaryVSMovies. All right. I think that wraps it up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to flip for the next movie. And so we were talking offline. And so we were going to choose between Ishtar, which has sort of a weird reappraisal going on. And I'm curious as to, like, you know.
Is that Elaine May?
It is Elaine May. And
You
that
like
kind
Elaine
of
May.
makes me want to see it because I really like Elaine May.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, Heartbreak Kid, Mikey and Nikki.
Yeah.
Let's try Ishtar.
Yeah.
All right. So Heads is Ishtar. Tails is Married to the Mob, the Jonathan Demme comedy, which I'm honestly pretty excited to watch. So
I always get that confused with Dick Tracy, which I know will...
Dick Tracy?
I don't know.
Do you know what Married to the Mob is? This is interesting because I think I might know this film better than you do, and I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, we will end up doing Dick Tracy like late in the summer, maybe early fall, because they're showing it at the Amber Theater. But because I've never seen Dick Tracy. But no, that's not what we're flipping between. Tonight we're flipping between Ishtar, Heads, and Married to the Mob, Tails.
All right, you ready?
Yes, let's do this.
Heads.
All right, our next movie is going to be Ishtar. So,
Cool.
yeah, that'll be interesting. All right, in that case, until next time.
He didn't see Rocky.